sit that right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that right here, sit that right there, don't go.
Welcome back. We back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a true crime psychology video. Teen killer thinks he's smarter than the detective. Okay, yeah, he's about to get a rude awakening.
There's nothing I know about this. Nothing.
This is 17-year-old Javarsi Tapley, who murdered his cousin Caleb Short. However, he didn't stop there. He also killed Caleb's mother, Gloria Short, and his 10-year-old niece, Gianna. But why would he kill his own family? This discovery was made on January 4th, 2016, when Caleb's father, Robert Short, came home from work and was met with a horrifying scene. His entire family was lying dead in a pool of blood.
Please send someone, please. I want to kill my family.
Someone took your family?
Somebody killed my came home, my family's dead.
When the detectives brought Javarsi into the interrogation room, they confronted a very stubborn suspect who was continuously trying to outsmart them.
You want to kill the innocent child?
No, sir, I would not.
A person like you won't kill a grandma.
Javarsi Tapley is a 17-year-old who grew up together with his cousin Caleb Short and his family in Upatoy, Georgia. But unknown to the others, jealousy was building up.
First and foremost, but what the is a Upatoy, Georgia? What the hell? Yo, Georgia got some of the most dumbest name for cities and counties I've ever seen in my existence. What is that? What is that? Rest in peace to the victim.
Up inside Javarsi's heart, and this jealousy would soon destroy the happiness of the entire family. On January 4th, 2016, after the tragic 911 call, officers arrived at the scene only to witness that the house had become a place of horror. But despite the grim circumstances, the officers pushed forward and interviewed a heartbroken Robert.
So I went in. My wife was laying in the hallway, face down, and stuff was scattered everywhere. And I checked the pulse, and no pulse.
Now, when you say you check the pulse, where you check the pulse at? Carotid order.
And I saw my granddaughter laying in the living room, face up, and I checked her pulse, and she was cold. And I started running through the house looking for my son, calling his name. He went in his room. So I ran back out into my room and found him in my bedroom closet, tied up.
Take your time.
Tied up.
I didn't check the house no further than that. I came back out and went back in and checked him again.
So you say you came back out?
I came back out to my wife and went back and checked on him, and I couldn't get back up. Then I started trying to call 911. I haven't taken a couple of minutes to call 911 because I was also.
Now, with your son,
Shot, right.
Did you check his pulse also?
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that your granddaughter, you check her pulse?
Yeah.
When the detectives couldn't find any useful information from Robert, they started digging into Caleb's close contacts. They searched through Caleb's phone, and the last person he had contacted was his cousin, Javarsi Tapley. The entire Short family was butchered brutally, and the murder scene was disturbing enough to unnerve even the most hardened officers. Adding to the unnerving circumstances, there was no CCTV footage or any witness to the crime. The only lead the detectives managed to secure was Caleb's contact list and the one name that stood out. With that, they brought in Javarsi as their primary suspect, since he was the last one to call Caleb.
First of all, I want to thank you, for, coming down, cooperating with us and, willing to help us with what's been going on. We just want to try to, meet with some of the family members, just want to see what information that they have or anything that they do. Tell me about Caleb. Who is he to you, first of all?
My cousin.
What type of kid was Caleb?
Caleb, now, his mouth can be a little, but Caleb was the sweetest kid you'll ever meet, sir. The sweetest kid.
Okay, he was real sweet.
He'll never harm anybody else. Of course, everybody talk a little smack every now and then. I do it myself. Y'all pretty sure you do it from time to time, but other than that, Caleb didn't have no problems with anybody, not that I know of. Basically, I was his only kind of brother figure in his life.
Right.
And he was kind of on your mind because me and him used to go on vacations and I went out there with stuff like that. Like I was telling him, I didn't know too much about Caleb's social life. All I knew is when I come out there, it would just be me, him, and his friends.
Right.
It's like with your homeboys at high school. Y'all sit around, joke around, play basketball, talk about girls. Like that's what we do. That's what we do.
Right.
Although detectives let him go, they had a hunch that Javarsi was hiding something behind his friendly face. They would soon find out that their suspicions about him were correct. 2 cars were stolen from Caleb's residence during the incident. Detectives managed to track the GPS of one of the vehicles that led them to Oakland Park. Both of the vehicles were found at the same place. Using luminol, bloodstains were identified in the car, and detectives carefully collected DNA samples and fingerprints from both the interior and exterior of the vehicle as part of their investigation. After the news broke about the stolen cars being found, the police received an unexpected call from a woman indicating that her son, Raheem Gibson, might be involved in the theft of the vehicles that were found in Oakland Park.
He said that he was with a friend. What's the friend's name?
All I know is
Rita?
and Rita and some other boy. All other boy.
Rita.
Wheat, huh?
Rita.
Rita.
And he said they went to the house and
I don't know what house. They came in with some
Clearly
stuff.
having the
Bunch of
package
stuff,
all
boy.
out.
Came back driving the car. My child did. Whatever they found in Oakland Park.
Following the lead, detectives brought in Raheem Gibson, who would later become the key to solving the entire case.
So here we are, we're at the house. Does he give you a plan, or what's Rita telling you? Does he give you a role?
No, he just says he ain't gonna tell who I am when he first comes to the door, so y'all just stand on the side.
Okay. But backing up, what did you say you saw in the driveway?
Basketball goal.
Okay, basketball. Was there any vehicles in the driveway at this time?
Yes.
Okay. What vehicle was in the driveway?
The truck.
Okay, when you say truck, do you know what color the truck was?
Black.
Okay. Truck as in like it had an open part in the back or an SUV?
SUV.
Okay.
Closed.
Okay.
Detectives seem to have a breakthrough, but the real hurdle is about to begin. They would soon hit a roadblock while trying to get Javarsi to confess.
That you might have had something to do with it.
Yes, sir.
What you know about that?
Nothing. I mean, why would I do something like that? I told you my whereabouts. My grandma can tell you my whereabouts where I was. Why would I have anything to do with my own cousin?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I mean, we just have to, if you tell us something, we just have to check into it.
Yeah, I understand that. I would never have something to do with it. Knowing all these years I've been knowing him, never even crossed my mind to do something like that, have anything to do with something like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No. I just can't. I didn't do that. I promise you that.
Because man, this was a terrible incident. Nobody deserved that.
They really didn't.
Nobody deserved that. So
This thing said they really didn't like
a child,
I got
teenager.
And the grandmother.
I see
and
what
the
type of
mother.
nigga you is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, I don't even see myself even being in no situation like that.
And why's that?
Because I'm not that type of person,
What type of person is that?
A cold-hearted person.
Cold-hearted person.
Yeah. I don't see myself hurting anyone.
You never gotten upset and want to hurt somebody?
No, sir. Well, everybody got upset.
Uh-huh.
Ain't lie about that.
Yeah.
As far as getting upset and going off and stuff like that, I don't.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Why would people be saying, what if I told you, why all these people would be saying that you had something to do with it?
Probably because Caleb was my cousin, and they saw, when me and Caleb was together or something like that at the mall, they saw me and him together. So they figured if he always with Caleb, he probably know who Caleb had beef with, who Caleb all that come to the house, who Caleb hung out with, who Caleb did this, who Caleb did that with. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but stuff like that, I don't know who he had beef with or anything like that.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. I'm positive.
So you don't know nothing about this incident at all?
No, sir.
You ain't heard anything about it at all?
No, sir. As far as my grandma saying what she said and stuff like that.
And what she said again?
She had said that she think it was somebody in the family or something like that. And that dude on the corner at the store, he told us he see like the same thing. And I was thinking to myself, it can't be because everybody in Caleb's family is too sweet like that. And nobody on our side of the family even met that side with my grandfather. His side of the family with Caleb now. So that's why I was like, no. Y'all can't be right.
In his second interrogation, Javarsi plays mind games, trying his best to showcase his love and affection for his cousin and extended family. However, the detective knows the true nature of his heart.
I understand y'all want to know who did this and all, but as far as information, I honestly don't know. With the swab and all that, I said, I didn't see no point in doing it like I just told that detective right there. I said, you find anything the same day, you got my grandmother's number, you know where she live at, I'll come in and do everything.
What you mean by that? I mean, you got to clarify for me.
I mean, as far as me not being out there since June, there's no even way of point.
What?
And for...
What do you mean find anything? What you talking about?
He said something like, if he come across anything in the next 2 or 3 months, he just want to make sure I'm out the way. But like I said, you got my grandmother's number, you got my number, you got the address. I'm not going nowhere. I'm there. I go to Spencer High School. I'm there. You call her, ask her. And like I said, I told y'all I'll think about it, but I just didn't see no point in doing that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it. We had to ask you. Just support the process, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I want to say this to you again. You hear anything, or you remember something that you may not remember tonight,
Give y'all a call.
give us a call.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let me go check on some stuff. Let's see about getting you out of here, man.
All right.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming down, okay?
Can you please take me home now? I'm sleepy as a dog, man.
Give me a few minutes, okay? I'll get home, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mind you, I think this is from the second
The
interview.
detective is pushing him to admit his guilt, but he lies through his teeth without any remorse. He even challenges the detectives and refuses to take DNA tests, but his struggle to keep his secret buried was soon about to fall apart.
I just get a vibe about you, and you know, if something just keep telling me that you things not adding up here, man. I don't think you're being truthful with me.
I'm being 100% truthful with you.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are. You know, I've been doing this, you know, for some time now, speaking with people, and some things you tell me it don't make any. It's not adding up. It's not jiving.
Well, I'm telling you what I know, and from what I have done with Caleb, and that's always being around him and stuff like that.
Well, I think you know more than what you're telling me.
I honestly don't.
I do. And deep down inside, you may know why I feel that way.
Not really. As far as you asked me what my whereabouts were, I told you. My grandma could vouch for me.
Is there anything you want to get off your mind? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, sir.
Anything you want to get off your heart?
No, sir. Sitting here looking you eye to eye as a man.
As a man.
I don't have nothing to hide. I mean, like, if you don't believe me or whatever, I mean, that's just how you feel.
Okay.
Eye to eye. There's nothing.
No, he different.
I know about this. Nothing.
So a person like you, you want to do that?
No, sir. Never, ever. Couldn't harm nobody.
Person like you want to kill an innocent child?
No, sir. I would not.
Person like you want to kill a grandmother?
No.
A caring person like Miss Gloria?
No.
Person like you want to kill Caleb?
No. Been straightforward with you since the first moment I walked in here.
It's about 100% clear now that Javarsi is truly a pathological liar. At this point, it's quite shocking to see that he still shows no trace of remorse. This attitude strongly hints at sociopathic tendencies. He knows that his lies are caught, but even then, he keeps on provoking the detectives.
We had some people down there talking to your grandmama. Is there any reason why they would tell us that you and Caleb were kind of like video game buddies?
We never had the same systems.
Well, I'm just asking because that's what they were telling us, which made me kind of wonder because you were telling me y'all weren't that close and you don't really know much about him.
Crossplay's the thing now.
So you don't play no games with him online or nothing?
No, sir.
I know Detective Malone here told you what he thought about it. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
You understand, if I knew anything, I would tell y'all, but as far as like video game buddies and stuff like that, no. I don't play any games, I don't own any games. The last game I owned was right before I lost my last job, was working at Waffle House. I worked at Little Caesars before that. And I barely can afford to make payments on that, so I took that back.
I think you know more than you're telling me.
Which I don't.
I'm just telling, I'm being honest with you. I ain't lied to you since I come through this front door with you, but I'm just, there's something in me telling me that you can help me out. And I don't know why you're holding back.
I'm not holding back, I promise you I'm not.
I'm being honest with you.
Same thing I told him.
You know, I don't, my job is not to bull people, and there's just something,
you're capping.
everything you're saying to me, it's like you want to dance around everything, and I don't get that. Because it's your cousin. It's not my cousin.
I understand, I'm telling you what I know. From my family members to theirs, they know I don't have much contact with Caleb. Caleb don't tell me anything, I don't do anything with him. Like as far as video games or anything.
But you say you tell me if you did, right?
Yes, sir, I would.
He's clearly trying his best to prove his emotional and mental distance from Caleb, but little does he know that the detectives have already secured enough evidence to send him to jail. Moreover, his friend Raheem has already confessed to his own involvement in the burglary and implicated Javarsi in the brutal murder of his family.
Okay, so now you guys are at the front door, and he tells you what again?
You go inside the house because he's not going to come out if you see 3 people.
Okay. And so you and Quez are waiting at the side of the house. What are you guys talking about when you're on the side of the house? Seriously, I mean, you're probably like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me in your own words, what did he say to you?
I said, what are we doing? He said, just be quiet and wait for him. And I was like, okay. And then when he came to the door, he snatched him, and I just...
Well, I mean, you say snatch, just tell me, like, real simple terms. Did you see him put his hands on him?
How is snatch not a simple term?
I just guess he snatched him because when I did see, when I heard it, then I came around the corner.
Okay, now is the front door closed when you come around the front?
I never came. I came to the front of the corner.
Okay, I understand.
And then I looked. He had him in the front of the yard on the ground.
And so so when you say he's on the ground, who's on the ground?
Javarsi and Caleb.
Okay, are they fighting?
No, he was just holding him on the ground.
Okay, who's on top?
Javarsi.
Okay, so Javarsi is physically just holding down, or has he got his knees on him, or how would you describe it?
Got it. Holding his hands on
Okay.
Holding his hands behind him.
Okay, is he asking you to help him, or how does that work?
He asked me to help him. I said, "Hell no." And I just stood in the ditch and sat down. Then I was way up them. They tied him up. I started shaking.
Okay. When you say tie him up, I think rope, but what did they tie him up with? Okay. There's all kinds of tape. What color was the tape?
I guess duct tape because it's gray.
Okay, so you're saying duct tape because it's gray or silver. Would you say silver or gray silver, but it's shiny? Okay. When he ties him up, what hands or what part? Can you show me?
Tied him up like this.
Okay. So his hands are like this?
No, like this.
Okay, like this?
Oh.
Okay. Any other tape, or he just tapes them all the way around like this?
Seatbelt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's he saying to him at this time?
He just kept on saying,
Caleb is saying this?
No.
Or, okay. Well, what's Caleb saying? He's got to be saying.
He was just like, why? You better be playing. You better be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's like
I've seen him walk past with him.
Okay. Now, is he dragging Caleb, or
he's walking.
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, he's walking.
Playing is this
Okay.
though, gang.
And what's he saying to him?
Telling him to be quiet.
Okay.
Be quiet,
Javarsi
nigga,
had
I'm
murdered the
screaming for help.
entire Short family and tried to stage the perfect burglary. However, his evil plan was doomed to fail, as Raheem would soon reveal exactly
We ain't got
how
no
and
neighbors.
when Javarsi devised his sinister scheme.
Weeda and him, they go inside the house. And
Weeda.
Quest, okay. And you stay outside. Did they tell you to stay here, be the lookout, or why do you stay outside?
I didn't want anything to do with that.
Okay. Did they ask you to come in?
Yeah, they kept on telling me come on. I kept on saying I don't want nothing to do with it. That's not what I came here for.
Okay.
You came
If I'd asked you what you did go there for,
shouldn't
what
have
would you
came at
say?
all then, gango.
He said to go see what he got for Christmas.
Okay. So you're in the bushes. Do you see anybody drive by?
I got everything.
Okay, so you don't see any lights or anything.
No.
Okay. How long were they inside the house for?
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Okay. What do you hear? You hear any noises? You don't hear anybody screaming?
No.
You don't hear anything? Okay. So 30 minutes, and then what's the next thing someone contacts you? What happens?
Quez came, he said, come on, good girl. I said, what y'all do? He didn't say nothing. And then when I was getting in the car, Javarsi came out. He said, he'll be right behind us. He could get more stuff.
Okay. Okay, so now you walk to the garage, correct? Okay, now how do you know to be the driver or the passenger?
I wasn't going to be the driver.
Okay.
Eggs, but I was the passenger.
Okay, and I'm not trying to put words, but I mean, are you helping them put things in the trunk, or?
No, everything was already in.
Okay, so everything was already in. Okay, what did you see that was in the vehicle?
Boxes of shoes.
Okay, do you know any brand names of shoes or?
Jordans.
Any other
Nikes.
Nikes. What else? TVs, PlayStations.
TVs, PlayStations, and Jordans.
No TVs.
No TVs.
So they were there just to get was it jewelry, clothing?
Jewelry?
Only thing I seen was shoes.
Okay, shoes. Okay. When you're looking at the garage, and it's a double car garage, is the vehicle on the left side or the right side or in the middle?
The middle.
The middle? Okay. And when you come around, you get in the passenger seat. Is Quez already in there, or you just sit in the car?
We getting in at the same time.
Okay, getting in at the same time. And you say the boxes are in the back seat, or is there a trunk? I'm not familiar.
Back seat.
Okay, back seat. Okay. And how many boxes of shoes would you say?
6.
Okay.
6 or 7.
Okay.
It's important to note that
6,
Quez is actually a
7.
nickname for Rufus Leonard Burks, one of Javarsi's friends. And now, the detectives are finally getting a clearer picture of where Raheem, Javarsi, and Rufus were on the day of the incident. Unlike Javarsi, Raheem isn't making things difficult for them, at least for now. But that cooperation is not going to last much longer.
So everything you think that was taken was in the VW?
Probably because he had more
Beetle?
to do
Okay.
than he's
Why
doing right
do
now.
you think Weeda didn't leave with you?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just asking. Do you have? Can you guess why?
He told us he was getting more stuff. But
He said he was getting more stuff.
But when later that night when I asked what did he stay for and get, he said don't worry about it and stuff.
Okay, so you guys leave, and Weeda is still there.
Yeah.
Okay, is the door open from the garage in? Can you see anything?
No.
Okay.
I seen the light was on.
Okay, the light was on. Did you hear? Can you describe any of the noises?
I didn't hear no noise.
Okay, did anybody yell, scream, anything break?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you guys back out, and Quez is driving, and tell me again where do you go?
The same way we came.
The same exact route, past the airplane place, past DMV. Okay, and then KFC that way back. Now, who tells you, or why do you guys go to your final resting spot? You don't go to your house, correct?
No.
Okay, so where do you go?
He called Quez and then he drove to Rigdon Park.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with Rigdon Park?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why? Do you know why that area? Okay. So you drive to Rigdon Park.
I didn't drive.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You arrive there and as a passenger, and so you're just sitting there?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long do you think you sit there?
30 minutes.
Okay.
30 minutes.
Does anybody call you, or do you call anybody?
No, Quez.
Quez is on his phone again.
No, he called Quez to tell him he was on his way.
Okay.
Then he finally came and told us to leave.
Okay, and so how do you leave that Rigdon Park?
We go out the main entrance and just turn out and just walk down the long road.
There are still gaps in the story that the detective needs to piece together as clearly as possible.
The hell?
What happened after they left the car in Rigdon Park still remains a mystery. Without these small but crucial details, the case remains a challenging puzzle for the detectives.
Okay, so you don't really, as soon as you leave the park, you turn left and go straight towards South Lumpkin Road?
Yeah.
Okay, you just go straight up. Why is he still in the vehicle? Why'd you make you guys walk?
It's definitely
He said he's gonna take it somewhere else.
He didn't offer to drop you off?
No.
You didn't have to?
I wasn't gonna get back.
You weren't gonna?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you see Quez?
We all walked together to watch his grandma's house.
Okay, so you stayed on Calhoun?
Yeah.
Okay, and is that where you sleep that night?
Most of the night, then I walked to my grandmother.
What time do you think you walked to your grandmother's house?
1 a.m.
Weeda, when's he come back?
He came back the same when we all went to his grandmother's house.
Okay, you guys walk from Rigdon Park, correct? And you walk straight there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Weeda drives somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
But he was already there when we got there.
Oh, so he beat you back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And his grandmother lives on Calhoun Road. He lives with his grandmother. Okay. Do you have any idea what time that is, or?
11, 12.
Okay. Okay. The shoes are in the Beetle. When did the shoes leave the Beetle?
He had him there at his grandmother's house because they switched them. They switched it out the cars when we met at Rigdon Park.
Okay, so when he arrives at Rigdon Park, you're still there. You guys load up the SUV, and then you walk.
Some J's.
Okay.
Some Nikes.
So where are the shoes now?
In the truck.
In the truck. Okay.
And he says he's gonna ditch the car.
Okay, so he never brings the shoes back to his grandmother's house?
He did. I don't know.
When did you see the shoes at the grandmother's house?
When we got there.
Okay. Okay, so you last saw the shoes technically in the VW, get put in the SUV, and then you walk to Calhoun, but he's already there with the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And no SUV.
No SUV.
Okay. And then do you guys sit around, talk? Do they smoke? What do they do?
Smoke.
What's he talk about? Did he tell you what happened inside?
No.
You don't get into it?
I kept asking what he did, why he stayed. And he just said, be quiet, mind your business.
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing, smart automations, patching, software deployment, scripting. And the amazing thing is that it does all this while still being easy to use. It's magical. Just this clean, intuitive UI where everything is where it's supposed to be and does what it's meant to do.
You know.
Sorry, I get him.
Raheem and Rufus walked straight from Rigdon Park to Javarsi's grandmother's house in Calhoun. But when they reached, Javarsi was already there, having abandoned the SUV. Clearly, Raheem's statement about leaving Caleb's house and reaching his grandmother's house contains a significant time discrepancy. Javarsi texts Raheem around 12 p.m. Roughly, after 2 hours, they meet at Javarsi's grandmother's house. At around 5 p.m., they meet Rufus. Then, at about 5:30, they're at Caleb's house. Raheem and Rufus then leave in the SUV. Later, Raheem and Quez come back to Javarsi's grandmother's house around 11 or 12 p.m. But when they arrived at Javarsi's grandmother's house, the SUV was nowhere to be found, and the shoe boxes had already been unloaded. So, the question remained, how did Javarsi manage to ditch the SUV and the other car so quickly, reaching his grandmother's house fast?
No. The question remains, you did this for 6 boxes of shoes? My bad, 6, 7 boxes of shoes? This doesn't make sense. You bought 3 to 4 people in on this dumbass plan for some shoes. No, I need better motive than this. There's no fucking way. I mean, he is 17, but no.
Faster than his friends.
The perfect version.
Unfortunately, Javarsi and Rufus still refused to provide the missing details, keeping much of the story unrevealed. On January 12, 2016, Javarsi was arrested based on the evidence gathered from his grandma's house. It's regrettable to see that all 3 of the perpetrators of this case were juveniles. In 2018, Javarsi Tapley was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Raheem Gibson was sentenced to 30 years in prison, and Rufus Burks was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. In the courthouse, Caleb's sister Shamika confronted Javarsi, showing him a picture of him, Caleb, and Gigi swimming together in the pool. However, Javarsi showed no remorse, making it clear that his actions were driven by jealousy and was still consumed with rage. Javarsi was loved by Gloria and her family. He also spent the summers with the Short family. Despite being unconditionally loved by the Short family, Javarsi chose to destroy this sweet, close-knit family out of his jealousy toward Caleb. But was it jealousy, or did Javarsi have a sociopathic side that no one knew about? If Caleb was the reason, why did Javarsi brutally kill his mother and Gigi? How could Caleb have never seen this dark side of his cousin? Or was it simply the love that blinded the Short family, making them trust their close relatives without question? Feel free to share your opinions. We'd love.
I don't know. It could be a case of both. I think Javarsi is insane. What the fuck? No, there's no way, because it's like, you keep talking about, yeah, I think I'm focusing on the 6 boxes of shoes so much, it's like, brother, there's no fucking way. It's no way. That's what ended up making 3 people leave this earth. That's crazy. So it has to be something deeper. And the fact that he didn't care, like, there's no remorse. You can see it in the interview. Like, he thinks he's getting away with this. So much so that it's like, I don't even kick it with him. Like, I don't associate with this man. Like, damn, this nigga act like he know of his cousin. Not, oh, I've been kicking it with my cousin forever. Like, this is crazy work. I don't know what is wrong with him. He committed a tragedy, and roped 2 of his friends into some dumbass, and life sentence in 30 years. 2 life sentences in 30 years. Plus, he's cooked too. You were 17. Yeah, no. That's just a waste of life. All around. Rest in peace to the victims. Condolences to the family. This is sad. Like, my nigga, I just don't get it. Is it, oh, he got money, so damn. Is it that bad? Brother, you could have worked your way up, became one of them. I don't know. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
Everything I'm seeing, I achieve it, bitch, you best. Everything I'm seeing, I achieve it, bitch, you best. Everything I'm seeing, I achieved it, bitch, you best believe it. It has been my Nintendo switch shit, though, kick it with my kinfolk. Haters just be talking, so I really do not need their info. Yeah, their info. Yeah.